స్పర్శతో నన్ను దీవించుము దేవాని స్పర్శతో నన్ను తాకుము.
Good morning, dear friends. Today's gospel reminds of the stories of Jesus healing many and multiplying of the bread. Healing and multiplication of bread display the divine compassion and power, showing deep care of the whole person, spirit, body and soul. Jesus heals many. In today's gospel passage, we see Jesus healing the sick, casting out demons and restoring people to health. These acts of healing reveals not only his authority over physical and spiritual ailments, but also his empathy for human suffering. Jesus doesn't just offer words of comfort, but acts with compassion to bring wholeness to people's lives. In healing the sick, Jesus demonstrates God's desire for restoration and well-being of all his creation. This challenges us to follow his example by showing compassion and care for those who suffer around us, emotionally or spiritually. Jesus multiplies the bread. This miracle of the multiplication of the loaves and fish goes beyond just meeting the physical hunger of the crowd. It is a sign of God's abundant provision and care for this people. The small offering of 5 loaves and 2 fish, when placed in Jesus' hands, is transformed into the abundance meal for thousands with plenty left over. This miracle speaks of the generosity of God's kingdom, where there is always enough to meet the needs of others. These two events, healing and multiplication, are closely connected. Jesus not only heals the sick and cares for the physical well-being of the people, but he also provides for their basic needs. Together they illustrate that Jesus is concerned with both spiritual and material aspects of our lives. He desires to heal us from our brokenness and also to sustain us with his abundant grace. In both the healings and multiplication of the bread, Jesus shows that no need is too small or too large for him to address, whether it's physical illness, spiritual emptiness or material scarcity. Jesus offers healing and restoration. For us, these stories invite us to trust in Jesus' ability to meet all our needs and remind us that in him we find fullness both in the life and in the life to come. As we reflect on these miracles, we are called to share in his compassion, to be agents of healing in our own communities, and to trust that Jesus will always provide for us in ways that exceed our expectations. Dear friends, as we are in the first week of Advent, which is a time of hopeful anticipation and preparation for the coming of Christ, we focus on watchfulness and readiness. May the season of Advent encourage us to live with hopeful expectation, trusting in God's promise and his faithfulness. Today's gospel, multiplication of bread and healing, is a reminder that God is always with us and his love is continually drawing us closer to himself. The multiplication of bread and the healing is taking place in our life every day. Let us journey with hope and open our hearts to the transformative power of Christ's presence, seeking his peace, joy, peace in our lives. Thank you.
Hakuna isoho musoro wa naiki kuna hamunku